What's going on, guys? Pegasus from the Wise Guys here. Make sure you go to inkgaming.com and use our coupon code TheWiseGuys TCG10 to get a discount. What's up, guys? Greg Farley, aka Pegasus from the Wise Guys here to talk to you about Chaos Impact. Chaos Impact drops this weekend if you're happening to catch it today. If you catch it later on, then hopefully this helps you in some kind of way. But we're here to talk about the secrets, specifically in this version, specifically in this video today. Of all the secrets, I think 4 of them are Hakai cards, so we're going to talk about them first, and then we're going to move along and around that. I think we have to talk about Abomination's Prison, which is the spell card, and it's basically the Rhoda, or the ability to special summon out of the deck for the Unchained archetype, Hakai Unchained, whichever you want to call it. I think this card is going to be really, really important to the archetype, so therefore, if you're planning on getting that card the day of, I really feel sorry for you. If you really wanted to play Hakai or pick up Hakai for cheap, it's not going to be cheap, as I expect this card to be somewhere between $20 to $30. I don't think it's going to be more than that, but it is a searcher, so it might creep up closer to 40. But when it's a Rhoda and it basically is the wheels and it's a spell card, you have to give it its just due. I do think it'll settle somewhere around $15 to $20 eventually, but for right now, $30 to $40 for sneak peek is what you should expect. And these are just prognostications. I can be completely wrong. These are just guesses to help you guys know what you're going to spend before you walk in. Secondly, we have to talk about Unchained Soul of Anguish, which is the Link 3. I don't think it's going to be quite as important as the other Hakai cards. Obviously, you have a generic one that's going to be a lower rarity. This one is going to be pretty interesting, to say the least. It does allow you to link up in that ladder and allow you to go for bigger plays. You just can't link during your opponent's turn. So I feel like this card is going to drop off, and I feel like it may be 15 to 20, but it'll drop very low. I expect it to be, $9, $10. Maybe the day of release or the day that the actual street date hits, I expect this card to drop. However, the Link 2, which is Unchained Soul of Rage, is the blue tiger looking guy, Liger, whatever the hell he is supposed to be. The projected price card of him, I'd say $30, anywhere right up under that. Maybe 25 if you get lucky, maybe a little bit lower if you can find it off of somebody or trade from it for somebody. But I do think it's the main Link monster, and anytime you have a main Link monster that is the main part of the disruption of the deck and what its intention is, I do feel like it's going to be a bit of a money card, and it's going to be, like I said, somewhere around $20, $25. It kind of reminds me of Anemone. It's the most important in the extra deck to be able to do everything that you wanted to do. So I expect it to at least come out at $20 to $25, just like Coral Anemone, and then go from there. Next up, we have Unchained Soul of Disaster. So yes, this card is the main deck monster. It's the key card that is most needed. You're gonna probably have to have 2 or 3 of them. I would say 3 just to be safe. And that card is gonna immediately come out overhyped and overpriced. I really feel it's going to be like $40, $45. The thing about the Unchained archetype is it reminds me a lot of Orcus, where nobody really paid it attention, but with Orcus, everything was lower rarity, so it was easier to pick up. It was easier to get on the low. This archetype, they're really going for the secret push, I guess, because they didn't want cards like Masquerena and all those other cards, which we'll talk about in further videos later on this week. I really think they wanted to max rarity out this deck and then really make it a good looking archetype. So I personally would grab these now, or let it at least drop a little bit upon the street release date. But this card, Unchained Soul of Disaster, being in the main deck, you're going to have 3 of them. You're going to get your head hit on the price tag. I would expect somewhere around upper 20s, probably. Maybe around 30, but you know how Sneak Peek Weekend can make something that's supposed to be 25 go all the way up to 45. So it's going to be somewhere within that large range. Hopefully you can get it for cheaper. That's just my opinion. So with the spell and the 3 cards, I really think that's pretty much it for the Hakais. There's 8 secrets, as there have been since they changed the ratio. Now we're going to get into some of the other ones. I think Marincet's Blue Tang is going to be the chase secret, simply because in America we have no idea what the deck can really do. The OCG isn't really playing the deck like that. I don't know if they just don't believe in the deck or they just don't care to play the deck. I think OCG is kind of wonky like that. They do whatever they want to. We have to figure out whether on our soil, that's TCG, that's Europe, that's America, that's Latin America, wherever you play at, if you play in the TCG, I still expect this deck to do great things. I don't know if it's going to be meta dominant, but it definitely is going to be a rogue deck that you have to pay attention to, as it has strong recursion. It has the ability to drop Toad, whatever version you choose to play. It's definitely going to impact how you play your deck, and you're going to have to be ready for this deck and the unaffected monsters, the flying and permanents coming out of your hand that turns into an Eagle booster when Marin says wave, so on and so forth. I really expect this card to be in the 40s, to say the least. That's what I expect to pay for. Anybody that's going to say $60 to $70, which is possible because it's a waifu card that's 1500 attack, you can almost expect the price tag to jump way up, i.e. Farm Girl, i.e. Ray. Thank goodness she was a super, but you know what I mean. She's going to be a popular card, period, for collectors. I really feel like this deck, you don't know what it's going to do, but I would expect to at least spend a little bit of chump change out of your pocket, and hopefully you don't get your head hit too hard. Next up, we got Pyro Phoenix. I think Pyro Phoenix, of all of the secrets, is actually the worst one, because I don't think that a Salamangreat player necessarily even needs to play the card. When you have cards like Avramax in your extra deck, the potential to play cards such as Apollo Usa, and you know, several other cards like the Nightmare package, you want to be able to have flexibility. This card being able to reincarnate Link and then Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster, everything, you know that this meta, you know that the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't necessarily going to be that easy to just wipe out your opponent like that. There's always going to be an answer rather than just destroying your opponent's entire side of the field. Its other effect, being able to special summon and then Ring of Destruction something, I expect that to matter a little bit, but again, I don't think any good Salamangreat player is going to be super duper worried about this as a secret rare. So I expect the price tag to be somewhere around 15 and then drop. And it's going to be probably, I'd say, a $3 secret in about 2 weeks. You know, not to throw shade at the card, but the card's just not going to be super duper important. Moving on to a card that's also probably not going to be as important as you would think, the cover card, Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. I would expect the card to be somewhere around $5 to $10, maybe a little bit higher than that, but a sneak peek weekend is going to be like 15 to 20. You can expect that. The card is situational at best. It definitely has its effects, but it's a Link 5, it's a cover card. It's the only Link 5. It's stuck. The reason that it has a problem is that it's stuck with the Cyberse archetype, which the original Cyberse should have been as well. So I expect some deck to find something to do with the card, some kind of way. I expect something with Ibli. You know, you just never know. However, the card takes so much of a setup, and yes, it can negate activations of effects and attack for a whole lot of damage, but it's just too situational and has too much of a restriction for it to be a money secret cover card, as we always are used to. So I would say somewhere around $10 is what you should expect after about a week or after the set drops. Last but certainly not least, we have to talk about Starlight Cypher. I like the card. I like the card a lot. It's definitely going to impact the Dragon Link decks and the Dragon archetype. However, Agripane just got hit, so it's going to throw us off a little bit to see where it's going to fall in, but it makes Dragon Link much better in being able to retrieve certain cards like Dark Arm Dragon, like Levianeer. A lot of these cards, you know, as you can read its effect on the screen, it's definitely going to impact the game. Even with Agripane being hit, you're fooling yourself if you think that it will not impact the game. So I would expect the card to be somewhere around $25 to $30 the day of, and settle somewhere around $15. Again, these are all just guesses. I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to market stuff. I don't really worry about that. I just wanted to give you guys a sneak of the sneak and let you know what cards are going to cost you this, what cards are going to cost you that. And then we're going to touch later on in later videos with cards that are coming that are definitely going to impact the game, but they're not going to be secret rares. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Greg Farley from the Wise Guys, aka Pegasus. YG baby, I'm signing out.